we have the very first London Megacon.
Hey guys, so I was really fortunate to be given a creator pass for the very first London Megacon. I went both days in cosplay and want to show you what you can expect from this event. Compared to a lot of conventions, there felt like there was so much more to do. I'd been to a lot of conventions in the past and sometimes I'd get really bored, whereas this one, it didn't feel that way. It was super family friendly with a kids zone, which some I think was for children only, like the inflatable stuff.
Have the kiddie zone. Oh, and a pigeon. Bouncy crocodile. And we got bumper cars.
But the bumper cars were for everyone, which I think was the most fun thing of any event ever, at least for me anyway. And this was absolutely free to go on. It was so awesome. There was also so many panels going on for all types of interests, which I believe were all free to watch. At least the cosplay ones I saw definitely were. One of my favourite things as a cosplayer is definitely the backdrops that they had. It made photos so much more fun, so much more unique compared to things like ugly grey walls. And the same looking venue hallway photos, which I find really kind of boring. They had so many different ones to suit so many different cosplays, which was so amazing. I took full advantage of these to take some photos, make some TikToks, and again, these were all things free to use. They also have these kind of props scattered around, like this Pikachu Funko box and the Megacon chairs, which are always great fun for photos as well. I really love these, they're always just a bit of fun. The stalls were one of my favourites. Megacon really seemed to care about what they allow into their event. It was mostly indie artists, which is always my absolute favourite to see and buy from these artists. There was a few merch stalls as well, but nothing that seemed like really repetitive, like 100 Funko stalls. And I'm really happy to say I didn't see any bootleg merch, which some events are really flooded with, and I just don't agree with. I can't 100% say there wasn't any bootleg things, but I didn't see any of it personally, and if it was either very well hidden or at tables with things that wouldn't really interest me. The only things I bought from the event anyway were all from the artists.
Get out of my swamp.
Sweet roll! most wholesome. I've been gifted a husband. And here is my con haul. I've included some of the artist names if they had a little business card or leaflet with it. If not, if you are interested in any of the artists, drop a comment on something that you like and I will find you the link to their Etsy, as most of these I already follow on Etsy anyway. The convention had quite a few guests that appealed to a lot of different crowds of people. I'm really into like voice actors and things like that, so I did meet a few of these guests. There was Jason Page, who sang the original Pokemon theme, and I met him twice over the weekend. I went to get my friend's thing signed, and then he was such a lovely person on the first day I decided I was going to get my stuff signed too. Jason was really chatty, so friendly, gave everyone the time of day. The fact that he was so good the first day when I got my friend an autograph from him was the reason I went and got him on my own stuff the second day. I also met Matthew, who was Meowth's voice actor, who was amazingly friendly and chatty, and he was also a photographer. And it was so sweet. He wanted to take photos of my Jean cosplay, and it was just such a wholesome interaction. Just like Jason, he was such a lovely guest to interact with. I met Veronica Taylor. I've met her before at a few conventions. This, I think, was my third time meeting her, and she is honestly one of the most sweetest guests ever. I was getting an autograph for a friend, and as always, she's just super lovely. She's definitely one of the most friendliest guests I think I've ever met at conventions. I also did a quick costume change to meet Lisa Ortiz. Going to meet Lisa, who is the voice actor of Cynthia, Silent Hill. Just brought my crappy Eileen, because the other one is too much effort and I'm gonna be Sherry again. So I don't think they're gonna let us film, but maybe I'll just put my picture in here. But yeah, look, me and Robbie. My wig's a bit flat. Little walkthrough of con. Who played Cynthia in Silent Hill 4. She literally didn't have any Silent Hill prints, and I was probably one of the only people to turn up in a Silent Hill 4 cosplay. We had such a great interaction, and she was so amazing, gave everyone time for a chat, and she was probably my favourite guest of the weekend. She was so lovely, so friendly, and it was great to just chat about Silent Hill, which is my favourite game series. I just met Lisa, who plays Cynthia, and I am literally shaking. She's so lovely, so amazing, and I was literally the only Silent Hill cosplay. And she took a selfie with me and Robbie, and she took my card. I'm like, oh, 10 out of 10 guests. 10 out of 10 guests. I wish more cons would get more voice actors. I did also try to get to meet Catherine Tate, who was only there for the Sunday, but unfortunately her line to get an autograph was insane and wasn't able to meet her. There were a few really great and helpful things as well at this convention. They had an entire designated cosplay area which had changing rooms, which made this so much easier for me to change in and out of costumes when I brought Eileen and Sherry. And I think this is something all conventions need, as it makes for just a quicker, more hygienic costume change than using bathroom stalls. They also, next to this, had a cosplay repair desk, which was really useful. They had like a mirror for makeup and wig checks and touch-ups, things like that. Glues and safety pins, pieces to fix any broken costume pieces. And I was so grateful for this, as it was the first time I was wearing my Resident Evil 6 Sherry out, as I'd only really worn her for streams, and the belt was a bit too big and kept going all saggy, so the safety pins were a lifesaver for my costume. There was a lot of seating areas around the event, but they tended to be for things more like the tabletop gaming, panels, gaming area, so there wasn't really a designated place to sit. But the venue did have seating areas outside, but compared to most events, I did find it easier just to find a place to sit and rest and have a short break if I needed, even if it was just on the carpeted floor areas, as I prefer that to just the straight up filthy floor. Food, I think, was the only thing that was a bit lacking. There was only 2 food stands inside the event, and one was an ice cream van near the back next to the kids zone and the celebrity guests, and a coffee stand kind of near the backdrops. There wasn't really any actual food vendors, so we did bring our own food and drinks over the weekend, which wasn't really a problem as this is something I tend to do anyway. The venue itself does have its own food vendors, but those can be a bit pricey. Megacon's actual branding I think is one of the nicest I've seen for a convention. They have this really cute mascot, and a lot of conventions are now selling like con merchandise to kind of commemorate your trip to the event sort of thing, and it's usually just like the con logo with like on a t-shirt or a badge or something. But Megacon have their own mascot called, I think it's pronounced Miko. I think it just stands for Megacon. And I actually saw people with plushies of this mascot, and they even had an actual mascot costume, which, just look at it, it is the cutest thing ever. They had this mascot scattered around various places in the con as well, so it was just cute. I really like it. Overall, I really loved Megacon. It was so much fun. There was enough space that I didn't feel overcrowded, overwhelmed, claustrophobic. Things were nicely laid out and easy to find. As a con-goer for over 10 years, yes, I'm old, I would highly recommend Megacon London, and I hope I can return to it in the future. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Here's a few last memes.